Chapter 35, Birchbark Campground in North Dakota. Casey glanced at the calendar in his mini whinny as he pulled his flannel down from the closet. It had been a week since his takedown of Gunnar and Geronimo, and he realized he had marked none of the boxes off except for a heart he sketched on Tuesday. Taco Tuesday with Piper had gone well, and the second official date ended with a longer kiss than the first. She'd agreed to meet him at the Birchbark Community Fire Pit tonight. Her arrival expected any moment. Casey looked at the calendar one last time and ripped it down, throwing it in the trash can. He buttoned his shirt in front of the mirror. His entire chest looked like he had the Black Plague, but the swelling and pain had subsided. Gunnar and Geronimo had far worse weeks. Chell had escorted Gunnar to Texas, where Gunnar quickly found himself in an orange jumpsuit in prison. His bail denied, Gunnar was stuck in a cell waiting for a jury to be assembled for his trial. A knock on his door. "Come in." Piper's curls led the way into the RV, and with her came her wonderful scent. "Hey, Pipe. Welcome to my humble home on wheels. Have a seat. Can I get you something to drink?" She kissed him on the cheek on her way to his table. "Sure. What are you pushing?" "My neighbor, Truckee, has me hooked on jackalope juice. Have a whole fridge full of it." "Sounds refreshing to me." Casey opened 2 bottles and passed her one. "You look great, per usual." "Right back at you." Piper knocked her knuckles on the table. "I'm imagining Geronimo living in one of these things off the grid right now." Casey sat down across from her. "So crazy. When I was bringing him to CPD, he told me he'd get out by the morning, and he did. Posted bail in less than 12 hours. I heard he might be somewhere down in South America, but who knows? At least you got Gunnar in for good." "How much did you make on that one again?" $20K, and it came with a permanent full-time position at Outlaw Hunters, which I accepted today. "We need to celebrate." Piper rested her foot on his under the table. "What are you going to do with all the money?" "Well, I gave $12K to Truckee, but found Truckee's share stuffed under my pillow last night with a note signed, 'With love from the truck ferry.'" Piper laughed. "Can't wait to meet him." "I'm sure that'll be any minute now. Folks at P's and Q's videotaped Buffalo Man taking down Geronimo. You've gone viral." "I know. I saw one of the clips and couldn't even recognize myself." "Same." Casey took a sip. Nodak News sent out a request for Buffalo Man to step forward for an official interview, but Chell and Herc declined to comment. Chell handed me a new bail piece earlier today when he discovered I drive a motorcycle. He said I needed to use what little anonymity I had left to go after their #1 target, Onyx Bromaker, the leader of the Banshees of the Badlands Motorcycle Club. They're a notorious biker gang based here in Choke Cherry that goes by BBMC. Trust me, everyone here knows all about BBMC. Piper took a long swig. "Sounds pretty dangerous." "Yeah, Chell told me it was one of the most dangerous skips and I'd have to go undercover. Said it could take months or even years to get close enough to Bromaker to take him down, but for a $150K bonus, it might be worth the effort." "Wow, I can't even imagine having an extra $150K in my pocket." "Right?" "Chell told me I'm free to chase smaller fish at the same time to build up my skills with the focus on trying to infiltrate BBMC. I took the bail piece but wonder how far down the rabbit hole I'd have to travel to beg Bromaker. Hopefully there's a way I can help." "You have enough on your plate with your senior year coming up and lining up a position at Swift Fox Investigations. I'm sure I could find time once my Park Service internship ends. How'd it go resigning the other day from your position?" Casey ran his hand through his hair. "I submitted my official resignation along with the uniform and hat to Ranger Beekler on Wednesday, which sent her and my father into a frenzy. I'm guessing I won't talk to my dad again for a while. Beekler told me I was her favorite junior ranger of all time, even though we only worked 3 weeks together and I left her hanging with the senators. My boss has told me stories about her." "I bet." Casey had told Beekler if he ever set up a TikTok account, he would be sure to make @RangerBeekler his first follow. She told him to watch out for her heart attack trail mix of the Heartland to hit shelves within a year, or less if they forced her into early retirement for shaking her booty in front of the senators. How'd the rest of your family take it?" "Well, my mother called concerned and asked a million rhetorical questions, which I did my best to answer. My sister is on cloud 9 after her hacking successes, and she's more excited to hang out with you than she is with me." "I know, we've been chatting. Sounds like she's coming out for 4th of July. Booked a one-way ticket." Casey snickered. "Great, you know more than me now. Oh, my Aunt Edna even sent me an email to my old Hotmail address I used back in middle school, telling me to live my best life. What about you? Did you talk to Commander Banks about Geronimo at all?" Piper nodded. "A little. It didn't surprise him Geronimo got out, and he told me they sent officers out to the waypoints from the GPS. Parsons' body hasn't been found, but state oil regulators shut down the oil operation at Knife River and said no one could return until the body was found and mineral rights could be proven." "Great, except we know one of those regulators is corrupt." "I don't think anyone, including my father, wants to touch that." Casey gazed into her eyes and let his mind wander. He was still visiting Hondo and Manitou twice a day for Jeet Kune Do lessons and feedings coupled with playtime with his furry little friend. He was excited to introduce Piper to Manitou and Hondo. Headlights filled his RV windows. Looks like Trucky's here. Now remember this about him. He pretends to just be this free-loving truck driver, but I'm gonna get his actual story out of him one day. He's got some incredible surveillance and situational awareness skills that can't be overlooked. Sounds fun. Ready to meet him? Thrilled. Piper finished the rest of her bottle and followed Casey outside. Trucky was out of his truck in a flash when he saw Piper. I hear you're the most interesting man in North Dakota. Piper winked at him. Oh, I love the spunk on this one. Trucky wrapped an arm around Casey. Meet Trucky Smoot. Piper reached out her hand. Piper Banks. Trucky bowed and kissed the top of her hand like he was a member of the Italian mob. Your stunning beauty is only surpassed by your charm. Who is this new character you're playing? Casey laughed. Tell me, Miss Banks, do you have any older eligible sisters? Perhaps 10 years older than you with no kids or emotional baggage? Sorry, I'm an only child. How selfish of your parents. And Trucky's back. Casey smiled. Should we head over to the campfire? I hear music. Yes. Casey clapped his hands together. I'll catch up with you two lovebirds in a minute. Have to grab my guitar first. I've got a gift for you. Can't wait to see what that's all about. Casey held Piper's hand as they walked to the community fire pit together. A million stars crowded a full moon. A slight breeze blew through the camp, and it made Piper squeeze his body. Thanks for inviting me here. I'm excited to meet your other neighbors. I appreciate you coming. I'm also excited to go to the Rough Rider theme park with you tomorrow. Me too. Piper squeezed his hand. They reached the fire pit and received a hearty welcome from the residents of Birchbark. Lawn chairs provided, drinks and s'mores offered, instruments being played. Piper sat between him and Clemmy and fit in like she had known everyone her whole life. Maybe she had. Earlier in the week, Casey had asked Clemmy if she'd heard from Geronimo, but she said his number was turned off. Someone asked for song requests and Trucky stepped forward out of the shadows with his guitar slung over his shoulder. I've got one for you guys, an original I'd like to perform for the first time in public. It's dedicated to someone very special, so listen up and sing along if you pick up the chorus. This ought to be good, Casey said. Oh, I think you'll like it. Trucky strummed his guitar and sang. They said go west to North Dakota, earn your stripes and pay your dues. Faced with the choice, what path to wander? Will he move on? What will he do? He's good, Piper whispered as she wrapped her arms around Casey's arm. Just don't compare him to Flip Kenny, whatever you do. Trucky sang the chorus. Once just a man, now he's transformed to the one Buffalo man. Oh my gosh, Casey grinned. Of course he would. Trucky continued. He's Buffalo man. He made a girl, she rocked his world. Is it enough to make him stay? They say choke cherry flirts with the devil. He's the one to save the day. Some of the other campers strummed along on their guitars, and most folks were tapping their toes as Trucky repeated the final chorus. Once just a man, now he's transformed to the one Buffalo man. He's Buffalo man. He's Buffalo man. He's Buffalo man. Woo! Let's hear it for Trucky. Piper called out and clapped. Bravo! Bravo! Casey whistled in support. Nice song, Trucky. The rest of the campers joined in applause. Thank you, Trucky bowed. You're too kind. Let's keep the music flowing. Who's going to lead the next one? The campers took turns calling out and leading songs. Some out of key at first, but no one cared. Piper sang all her notes on pitch and Casey listened to her more than singing himself. He wrapped his arm around her and gazed at her cute, bouncy curls and delicious soft lips. Scanning the group, he marveled at the kindred spirits around him, drifters from all over the country, hauling together at the moon. Truckee was right in the center as the choir director, flashing Casey a thumbs up, and other inappropriate gestures when Piper wasn't looking. Casey let his eyes drop to his flannel, and he thought of his brother and how much he would have enjoyed this moment. He looked up at the heavens and saw a star twinkle. "This is it, Nolan. I think I might have found my community and my calling. A fugitive recovery agent in Chokecherry, North Dakota who goes by Buffalo Man. Who'd have guessed?" As the author and creator of Buffalo Man, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed Buffalo Man Book 1, The Making of a Chokecherry Legend. Stay tuned for Buffalo Man Book 2, Ride or Die with the Banshees of the Badlands. It's gonna be crazy. Until then, happy hunting.